Welcome Tuesday Tea Time with Dorina. I want to welcome all the first time viewers and those that will be watching the replay. We are from Women of Wisdom. We are a nonprofit organization here to empower teen girls and women with practical wisdom and confidence. We are here for you to bridge that generational gap between the younger and the older generation. Why? Because we need one another and we need to be passing on vital knowledge to one another. You know that wisdom, no age. And so we need each other from all types of backgrounds and all ages. How about that for Tuesday tea time? All right. So if you remember, last week we talked about, uh, you know, well, we've been on this series about frustration. And so last week we talked about, um, I think it was, yeah, frustration, the pressure of being a people pleaser, the pressure of homework and last minute deadlines and assignments and over, uh, you know, piling tasks, on ourselves are, instructors, teachers giving us a lot of things that we have to do, and it causes pressure. And so we talked about the best way to handle those things. And so this week, we're going to be talking about environmental frustration. So before we get into our wisdom topic, I want to share with you our the Perfect You workshop that's coming up August the 13th. So we are getting close and we are excited. We've been having a lot of uh, donations for gifts and Target. Shout out to Target for giving us six. Did you hear that? Six $50 Target cards. So you could be a winner of a $50 Target card. Okay. And so we have much more to for our giveaways and our door prizes. So we are excited about that. And so we want you to come and enjoy yourself because we already know we're going to enjoy ourselves. All right. Okay. So, I usually share with you my tea. I'm actually doing Pure Leaf sweet tea today. And so, see, this is another one of my butterfly cups. Oh my goodness. How could you have so many favorite butterfly cups, right? Well, I do. So, tea time. Mm. Okay. So, I want to start out by sharing this with you. Let's see, there was something that I had on here that I wanted to share with you. Okay. Give me a moment and let me pull that up. Okay, let's do this. I have a quote that I want to share with you. Okay. So it says that when a flower doesn't bloom, you fix the environment in which it grows, not the flower. How about that? And that is by Alexander Den. I'm going to mess up the last name. I already know it, so I'm not even going to try that. Okay. But you know what? We are talking about frustration, environmental frustration, and we are going to talk about what goes on around about us. Okay, we all deal with frustrations, especially those that are around about us, but we all deal with frustrations in different ways, and especially depending on the environment that you grew in or was raised in. And so there's different types of frustrations and how we handle them. I mean, we handle them all differently, right? And so, one of the first ways that we usually handle frustration is in a negative way. So, we become angry or we get violent and talk rudely, or sometimes we go into a silent mode, or we shout out for no reason and spoil others moods, and these are different ways that we deal with frustration. And so another way that we can deal with frustration is in a positive way, and that is to look for solutions, and don't waste uh, time on crippling and blaming, because we can do that as well. So why waste time on that when finding a solution is the positive way to deal with frustration? So in our environment, we all you know have to go out in society, and we all deal with the grocery store scene. We all have had, or maybe you are being introduced into that season of work. But there are those of us that have been in the working environment, or you've been in classroom environment, or even your own home environment. So depending on how you've seen others handle frustration has a lot to do with how we handle frustration as well. And so there are some things that we just have to unlearn if we grew up in a negative atmosphere or negative environment where frustration was always handled in a negative way. And to be honest with you, I believe that frustration handled in a negative way is of a greater percentage than the positive way. And because who is teaching us how to handle frustration in a positive way? And so that's not being taught much, if at all. So that's why we're here to help you learn how to handle frustration in a positive way. And we've talked about how sometimes you just gotta pull back, especially at work, when stuff go on. Sometimes you just gotta calm yourself down and do the breathing method, to just kind of slow, your heart rate down and just kind of calm the body. Because, when we get frustrated, it intensifies our body and our organs, our muscles, and things like that. And so, if we learn how to, or we practice learning how to handle frustration in a positive way, then we will become better at it, and we won't, have those seasons or those pop out of nowhere, shout out angry arguments with people when we really don't have to do that. We can face situations bravely and never allow frustration feelings to influence our surrounding and our modes. That is a choice that we choose. And so that's important that you realize that a lot of things that affect us in life is based off of our choices. And especially today, we need to realize that because, you know, there are those that are trying to teach that, it's not your fault, or it's not my fault. Well, sometimes it is our fault, and we just need to take responsibility for our own actions and our environment around about us. We do not have to allow other people's negativity to affect, how we're going to do the day. You know, we want to be people that control our emotions and not hand over our emotions to other people and allow them to cause us to become irate or cause us to act sometimes the way they want us to, because offended people offend people. And sometimes when you offend, you're releasing that offense off of you and putting it on somebody else. And so there's a better way to handle things, and that's to accept responsibility for our own actions, accept responsibility for our own part. And we sow peace, we reap peace. And so just learning how to handle our environment will help us to feel better about ourselves and to walk in wisdom. All right. And especially at home, when we are around our children or our siblings, we want to help people, or we should want to help people learn how to do life the right way. Because this, if if, if it doesn't affect you now, it will affect you later. There is a cause and effect to everything. Stuff just don't happen, okay? And you know what? People that live that type of life, that or live by luck, people that live by luck, they get easily frustrated, because you have to live on purpose, and you have to do life intentionally, not by luck and wishing and hoping something happen, when you can take responsibility and create things, be the initiative, be the innovator, create and do things and set your environment the way you want it to be. And just because other people don't know how to act right around you does not mean that you have to be that way. And don't use that as an excuse to not act right yourself, because those things, people are watching, especially in environmental frustration. That is a public scene. We're at work, we're at school, uh, and we want to project ourselves as intelligent, wise teen girls and women, showing that we are empowered with wisdom. How about that? Okay. So we can learn to handle different types of frustration positively. Okay, so we have that capability to be successful in that way. And so I've said this before, and I'll tell you again, it does take a lot of effort. And And, it takes patience on our part to learn the things that we need to learn to handle things in a positive manner. Okay. Okay. So, talking about frustration and talking about environmental uh, frustration, it plays a very important role in frustration. Okay, so we, like I said, uh, if we live in a positive and enjoyable environment, then we stay positive. Okay, and it's easy to know how to handle things when you have been raised in a positive environment. And but for some of us that have been raised in a negative environment, well, we can unlearn what we learn. Okay, we don't have to be stuck in that thing. We don't have to, blame, play the blame game. Let me tell you something that I did. Maybe this will help you. But you know, in my environment, I can't say that it was all negative or all positive. But being raised by my dad and not having a mom, of course there was times of frustration because you know there are certain things that you just can't learn from a man, and a man and a woman have or a mother and a father has their own part to play in the relationship, and one can't be the other. And so, of course, there's things that are missing in that environment, and it can be frustrating. And it was frustrating for me at times. And so I remember, that I was so upset with my dad, because he accused me of doing something that I had not done. And I mean, I got abused, physically because of it and everything. And because of that, I kind of went buck wild. And I was like, well, I'm already being accused, so I might as well, just because he was accusing me of, messing around with the guy that was my boyfriend at the time. And I had not, you know, done anything. And so when he accused me, I was like, okay, well, I might as well. Well, I'm telling you right now, do not take that type of mentality. That will lead you down the wrong path. I was led by my emotions on that, and that was the reason why I made that mistake. So I'm telling you, don't get frustrated and just because someone might be accusing you of doing something and you're not doing it, don't go out and do it anyway when um, that you weren't doing it anyway. Stay on the same path. Don't allow yourself to be moved by what somebody else accused you of doing, because people lie all the time. And you know what? People are going to lie on you. That's another frustration, an environmental thing. People around you, they don't really know you, and so they'll lie on you and all this kind of stuff like that. But that's just a part of dealing with society in itself. And you have to learn how to not allow other people's comments to move you out of your position, out of your standards, and not do anything that will cause you problems later on in life. And so, because of what happened, I end up, being, teen pregnancy. I was of teen pregnancy, because of that. And I blame my dad for that, because, he was already accused accusing me and they abused me for it. And I'm like, okay, well, you know what? I'm just gonna do what I'm accused of. And that was a poor excuse to go out and do stuff that I shouldn't have been doing in the first place. Okay. So that's why I'm saying, you can get frustrated and get into that crippling and that blaming thing that will lead you down the wrong path. And you really, I'm telling you from experience, there are some mistakes that you will pay for the rest of your life if you allow other people accusations and other people's frustrations to if you start shouldering those things, it is going to be heavy upon you and it's going to affect your future. And there are some things that, like I said, once it happens, you know you you there's regrets, and there's some things that you just can't change. You just have to deal with it for the rest of your life. And so you don't want to allow the environmental frustration to control your life, because it will lead you down the wrong path of frustration. See, I didn't try to find a solution, a positive solution for that situation. I just, yielded myself to the frustration and went all the way out, buck wild, and made a lot of mistakes in life. And that's why I'm telling you, not to do what I did, and let me tell you that the best way to learn is to learn by watching other people's examples. You can alleviate a lot of frustrations in life, a lot of regrets, just by seeing the downfalls of other people's decision. And a lot of those decisions sometimes come from, just being frustrated. Look if you look around and see uh other people's actions and stuff like that, or their decisions that they've made, there is something that caused that decision. Okay. People that are successful, they just don't have time, to waddle around in frustration, and you know, you know, they know how to handle it in a positive way. Okay. So like I was sharing with you, let's go back to this. It says when a flower doesn't bloom, you fix the environment in which it grows, not the flower. And so really, if you think about it, if you're trying to just straighten the petal of the flower, then you're not really dealing with the root of the problem. And in order to really resolve situations, you got to go to the root of the problem. And really, that's kind of what we've been talking about all along with this frustration thing, is really going to the root of the problem. And you can't really get to the root of the problem if you are not willing to face the truth. And really, the frustration that we all deal with, it starts with us. We have control over how we respond to situations. We do not have to allow everybody else's decisions and everybody else's moods and frustration to cause us to be that way. Now, let me say this, yes, you are affected, when you're around people, but you have to learn how not to allow them to affect you. And if you're in a environment that's always negative, birds of the same feather flock together, and eventually there are some things that are caught more than taught. And so if you stay in that environment, naturally you're going to conform to whatever that environment has to offer. Okay. So you have to get out of that environment if you can, you know, to eliminate the problem. Okay. And I know that some situations, especially like, young people, you know, and you're living with your parents and everything, and there's a situation that, fighting and, angry and all that kind of stuff. The best place to go is go to your room, get away from that environment and just try to find ways that, to calm yourself down and not allow yourself to be overwhelmed by what's going on. Okay. So that's a little wisdom for you there to know how to deal with environmental frustrations and, how we deal with the situations. Oh my, matters a whole lot. We want ourselves to create good environments, and we want to be around those environments that give off good vibes, and that is where you want to hang out. Okay. And so if you got negative people on your job and you got to deal with them, deal with them in a positive way as best as you can, but don't make them your lunch partner, that you hang out with, and on your breaks, if you need to, find a good book and go read a good book so you don't have to be around that kind of stuff. And if you're the type of person that you don't really know how to tell a person something, that you don't really want to be around, get you a book, get off by yourself and just read, and that will be good for you because you have to take care of you. And if you don't take care of you, then you can't take care of anybody else. Okay. And so that's what we're talking about today: environmental frustration. And hopefully, the things that were shared, that you will, take them to heart and put them into practice. Remember, as I've said before, wisdom is the ability to use knowledge correctly, and that's wisdom in its simplest form. And so take the knowledge that you are given and use it correctly and eliminate the level of environmental frustration that you have been experiencing in life. And we all experience it, but what matters the most is that we learn how to deal with it in a positive way, because frustration um, is prevalent right now with everything that's going on. And so we have to protect ourselves so that, we don't get to the point where, it becomes so critical that, some people take their lives. And so we want to keep you in that down that positive path to handle situations correctly so that you can do right to the best benefit of you, your family, and those around about you. How about that for Tuesday Tea Time with Dorina? So I am so thankful that you have joined me today. And I want to remind you, to sign up for uh, the Perfect You workshop. We are excited. We are getting prepared. And I'm telling you, you're going to have the best time of your life. You are not going to want to miss this. And it just gets better and better and better. And I think that this is our seventh or eighth workshop. So it's been getting better and better. And oh my goodness, now the prizes are just been getting better and better. And so you are going to want to be there. So um, you know, suggest that you register. Come and register at 8:30. We're gonna have a light breakfast and coffee, so you can kind of get your spot and settle in. And lunch is provided. And so just go on our website and register. Right now, registration is $25 for women. That registration fee changes on the 8th of August to the door price, which is $30. And you can still pre-register or pay when at the door. For the teen girls, we were donated 10 free tickets. At this moment, we have 8 tickets left. First come, first serve. If you have a teen girl and you want her to be there, email me with her name and I'll get her registered. And other than that, the tickets are $10 for teen girls 12 and to 19. Okay, so I'm looking forward to seeing you at the workshop. And always, my dear friend, walk in wisdom. All right, good night. Have a lovely night. Mwah. Love you.